Hey guys, this is Andrew Keene from KeeneOnTheMarket.com. This is your S&P oil and your future video recap for April 17, 2012. Today was a very interesting day. Rip roar to the upside in the minis. I've been talking about lately how I think we're going to be range bound for a while. Stock markets don't go up forever. Eventually they have to correct. Corrections usually last 3 to 4 weeks. We would be in the second week of correction. We did have good news from the IMF. Once we saw Goldman actually had pretty good numbers, but the stock was down today. The minute we saw the high-flying stocks such as Apple, Priceline, and Netflix all move to the upside, the market really rallied higher. So let's look at the daily chart real quick. And we have a lot of overlapping bars. We talk about this in oil, and the hardest trade to make is when we have overlapping bars. When we do not have overlapping bars and we have breakouts to the upside or the downside, that's when I want to play. But overlapping bars means neutral pattern between buyers and sellers. So we have the low. Maybe this will be the low for a while. I still think we correct a little bit more to the downside. Let me just pull up the low right here. That low is 1359, and if we go back a little bit farther, I think we're stuck in this range, this 1335 to 1420 range in the futures. I don't think we're going to break out to either side. We do have a lot of earnings. We saw Coke with good earnings after the bell. IBM was selling off. Yahoo's pretty much unchanged. So we might get a little bit more buying pressure. 1390 and 1400 to the upside are very critical levels. Let's look at the 5-minute. We opened up this morning 1373.5. We sold off to 1371.75. 80% of the time we have the high or the low within the first hour. We got the low within the first hour. We are above the cloud all day. So when we're above the cloud all day, a pullback should be bought. I did not take any trades in the minis, but if I had to look at it, I would think the higher low is going to be the first hour. If I think of the higher the low, I would think the low just because of the cloud pattern. Yesterday we had a lot of overlapping bars. Today we had a breakout to the upside, then a lot of overlapping bars. Between the time of about 10 o'clock till the end of the day, we had about a 5-point range. We might sell off a little bit on IBM's news. Let's look at oil really quickly. And I will start looking at the daily in oil. And I've been talking about this as well. It looked like we broke out to the downside, and then it was like a fake breakout to the downside. It did not test the $100 level. So the $100 level in oil is an important level to the downside. Also, we can look at this low right here around 100.74. All these overlapping bars means we should break out at some point. We broke out to the downside, and there just wasn't enough selling pressure. 85% of the oil that trades in a day is all speculative money. Obama came out today and said he was going to try to go after the oil traders that speculate. So we did see oil on the high of the day in the morning, 104.78, and then we saw a little bit of selling pressure. What we have this week is we have the Spanish bond auction on Thursday. So I'm bearish the market right now. I'm bearish oil, and I'm bearish the euro. Let's look at the euro real quick. And today wasn't one of these days that to take trades in any of these stocks. I announced all my trades in the live trading room. I will go to a couple stocks I took trades in, and those worked out great. Apple being one of them. So we look at the euro today, and if we go into the daily, if it can calculate for me. Okay, we're not going to the daily. Here's the daily. We're stuck in the middle of the cloud. I want to buy a breakout above this 132.60, and I want to sell on this 130.58. We saw a lot of sellers come in, and we hit exactly 130 even. 130 even is a critical level to the downside. If we could retest this 126, I still think we tested the downside before we break to the upside. If I had to choose, guns ahead, I would be short versus long, but I'm not playing this on a daily chart. Let's look at the 5-minute chart, and then I'll talk about a couple stocks. Just overlapping bars inside the cloud, outside the cloud. I was actually going to try to buy the breakout of the cloud. I think it was right here. I was going to sell below it. Too many overlapping bars for me. One trade I took today worked out well was Apple, and I talked about Apple in the last 2 days before here, how this was on Monday, and then on Friday I wasn't aggressive enough, and I didn't take the breakout of the cloud. So yesterday the breakout of the cloud was right here, and we see this 606.75 level. I could have sold that. That would have had me 30 points to the downside, but I didn't take that yesterday, and I'm mad I missed that. So if we look at today, we opened up, got crushed, huge tail on the bottom here. Even though it's a bear bar, there's a huge tail on the bottom. Got down to this basically 572 level, and was off to the races in Apple. I bought it right here, 589.78, and it got me 15 points, 589.75. Sorry, got me 15 points to the upside. My final target was 605 level. Apple was a great trade, and we like the price line as well. I thought these stocks were a little overbeaten or beaten up too bad poorly. So I bought the breakout of the cloud right here. I think it was right here. 708. It was 706.25 is where I got in. I mean, I got in a little bit early on 706.25. I had to stop under the low of yesterday. I think the low might be in for Priceline, Apple, even CMG for a while. We had a breakout high. I got to the 719.50 level where I took off profit. So good day trading today for me. Didn't take many futures play trades. Another one was Netflix. I like to buy breakouts above the cloud, stop under the cloud. Netflix I got long right here. Very easy trade. 102.82. I put my stop 50 cents under the cloud, so that put me at like 100.98. So I'm risking about 3 points, and I got over 3.5 to the upside. So this is Andrew Keene from KeeneOnTheMarket.com. Remember, if you want a free trial of the live trading room, you have to email sales@KeeneOnTheMarket.com. And all the trades are announced real and live time, live with real money. Have a great night, guys.